Hello there. How are you doing? Welcome to Hollywoodland at Hollywoodland21. A little at sign for the typewriter. Yes, at Hollywoodland21. It's all one word. Please subscribe. I have a goal, 10,000 subscribers on at Hollywoodland21 by September the 1st of 2026. Is that a little too soon for that many subscribers? We're going to find out, aren't we? Maybe I'm going to take index cards and I'm going to buy a whole lot of them. I'm going to just leave them off at the bus stops and tape them everywhere and just put them everywhere on my way out of North Carolina. On the train. I think we may take a train. If they can, it depends. We're not sure what we want to do. You know, I noticed something. You can get a lot for a used vehicle. And also, new vehicles cost a lot of money. In fact, new vehicles cost so much money that I don't blame anyone for purchasing a car that's 5 years old. I really don't at this point. I don't. Even wealthy people buy cars that are not new. They depreciate as soon as you drive them off the lot. Let's see who's here. Little Miss Jax. Hello, Randall. How are you doing at Little Miss Jax 428? One of my biggest supporters. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. It's been a very, very interesting last couple of weeks. Bollywood. Okay, let's think about this. Is YouTube in India? Does anyone know? India, Pakistan, which countries are over there? India. Does anyone know if one of the things I'm interested in is subscribing to a lot of people that have YouTube that are in countries that are heavily populated. And one of those countries is India. India now has more people than China, is what I heard. But who's really counting? Hi there. At Aman Naman. Welcome. Happy Sunday. The rest is just confetti. That's right. That's right. 93 people in here. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Are we going to have top messages? Or are we going to leave it like that? Or are we going to have all messages? Do I get a moderator today? Is Atakula1 available to be a moderator today? Or is Jerry available to be a moderator? Or is Daniel Holman available to be a moderator? I do not know. I wish I could use my phone better and keep in contact with these people. There's going to be a time when this is not a monetized channel. This is a channel for me to just to build up a subscriber base. I want to build this thing up until it's I don't know how many subscribers I have. I think it's around 2,200, somewhere around there. And I'm gaining subscribers at a fast clip. I've been told by other people that do this a lot, that I've been talking to since 2019 when I was just a chatter. I became a live streamer on a dare. It was on TikTok. I did that for 10 months. It was kind of amateurish and stuff like this, but now I'm on here. I prefer YouTube. Doesn't mean I won't go back to TikTok and do a little something on there at some point in the future. I probably will, if it's still a company. My name is Randall, and this is at Hollywoodland21. This is the channel. It's my channel, but it's really your channel. You can talk about whatever you want. There's only 4 things that I do not want anyone talking about on this channel, or you will be blocked forever. That's right, 4 things. And you know what they are? Oscar from Medford, Texas. I used to live in Lubbock, Texas for the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade. I even went to part of my, 9th grade in Lubbock, and probably down in, wait a minute. I don't know about all of Texas, but I think it used to be 9th grade was still middle school, or junior high school, they called it. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and then high school was just 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's how they did it back in the days in Texas. But the 4 things are no anti-Semitism. If I see any anti-Semitism in the chat, you're going to be blocked forever, and you'll never come back here. And if you come back here as another channel, I'm going to report you. Okay? You're playing no anti-Semitism on my channel. Number 2, no racial bigotry whatsoever on my channel or your history, like Andrew Jackson, and you're gone, and you'll be blocked forever. Number 3, no talking nasty about women or children, ever, or you will be blocked forever and you're gone. And there's one more thing. What do you think that one more thing is? It has decreased since 1979. Yeah, you're right. It has, China's population. No character assassination of me. Don't say things about me that are not true, or you're blocked and you're never coming back here again. Other than that, you could talk about, I really don't feel like talking about Iran. You could watch that on your satellite television all day. You could talk whatever about Iran. We know what's going on over there. You could talk about all the past presidents and their wives and their kids and the coke that was in the bathroom when Biden was in there and whose coke you think it was. And you could talk about all that stuff. I don't care, whatever. You can talk about COVID-19. Want to talk about that? Most people don't want to talk about that anymore. They're glad that's over with. A lot of heartbreak. A lot of people lost family members. It's something that people want to forget. Kind of like people wanted to forget the Spanish flu when about 10 or 20 times more people died. Except for my great-grandparents. They were young people during that when the Spanish flu came out, and they didn't die. You know why? I know that? Because I'm here. My great-grandparents were living in western Nebraska when that popped out. No. My great-grandfather was my great-grandmother was still living back in western Nebraska. My great-grandmother, they were already married, but he had already went to military school. He went to a military high school back in the early 1900s in Omaha, Nebraska, when that place was just a little dinky town. And then after that, he became a U.S. Marine. And I don't know where he went to training. I don't know if he went to Paris Island or if they had, at one point, I think they had when World War II popped out, he was called back to duty when he was an older guy. I think he had to be a drill sergeant in Waukegan, Illinois. There's a Navy base there. I'm going to have to look into that. There's 71 people in here. Let me start paying attention to my chat. Are your ancestors from the Dutchland? Yes, they are. They're from my ancestors, the Sheets family, S-H-E-E-T-S in America, but it's a Z. It's the original, are from Dusseldorf. They came here. Actually, they came here after the Civil War. They came here in the very late 1800s to Pennsylvania. There was a lot of German immigrants, like in the 1880s in the 1890s. They came in here. My great-grandfather's father was an immigrant from Dusseldorf, Germany. You look like that actor. I know, Kurt Russell. Hey, man, did you ever hang around the Viper Room at its peak in the 90s? I don't remember the Viper Room being around the night. Maybe it was. I didn't go there. I used to go to different places. I've been to Florentine Gardens. I've been to the Palomino or whatever that was called, that country western bar up in North Hollywood. Is that Palomino Club? Been there. I've been to, what else? Let me think. Jumbo's Clown Room, the Frolic Room. I've been to discotheques that are in Hollywood and Philadelphia that no longer even exist, that were owned by nefarious characters. I even worked in some of those nightclubs. Yes, I did. Where I got additional telephone numbers. I used to get a lot of telephone numbers there. I met a lot of ladies there. You're in Pennsylvania. I'm from Philadelphia. Yeah, I grew up in Philadelphia. I also lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I was in Philadelphia, but then I moved out to West Texas. My mother got a job out in Texas Tech University, so I lived there in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. I think I said that before. And then after that, I went back east and I lived in, went to the rest of my high school in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And then I stayed around there for a few years, and then I took off to Los Angeles, California, where I lived for a while. Well, I know a lot of Americans went to war against Germany. The whole world went to war, but we didn't even get involved until like around 1943 or something like that. 43, 44, 45, somewhere around those years. It wasn't in the 1930s. That was in the Depression. Essential personnel. Yeah, I remember the Mermaid at the Santa Monica Boardwalk. No, it's not. It's not. Well, yeah, I kind of sort of remember when that happened. He was a very well-known and very popular, especially with men and women, back in those days. I'm not sure when he died, but or what the circumstances were. But that was a big loss. That's a loss when a person dies that young. You're from Denver. I've been to Denver. I've been to Denver a few times. I've been to Pikes Peak. Been to Lakewood. I have relatives in Aurora. I've been to Pittsburgh. I've been to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. I've been to Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. I've been to Moon Township. I've been in your airport with your little walking machine. I've done a lot of flying on airplanes in my life. Yes, I have. I've flown all over the place ever since I was maybe 7 years old. Was my first flight from Philadelphia to Houston, Texas, with my parents before they broke up. Sandusky, Ohio over here. Sandusky, Ohio is where they have Cedar Point. I know where that is. Sandusky is a nice town. A lot of machine shops there. You have the 1,000-yard stare. Really? J.D. Vance eyelashes. Really? Wow. You look like a movie man. Really? Maybe I should. Maybe. What do you want me to do? I lived in Hollywoodland. When I was like 19 years old, I rented a guest house in back of somebody's house in Hollywoodland, and I walked out of my front door. I only paid $450 for it. This is a long time ago. This was like in 1988 or something, right? No, it was 1989. It used to be, that was expensive back then. You walk around. I walked around, and there was the Hollywood sign right there. But it was kind of falling apart. It's more fixed up now. But I lived in Central Hollywood for a while, but I eventually moved out to the more suburban area. You know, like near the Van Nuys Airport. I lived out that way, off of Sherman Way. If anyone knows where that is. Yes, but German American immigrants from the 1800s were on the front lines of World War II. Yes, from the 1800s, immigrants, not in the 1800s. Not in the 1800s. A lot of Germans came over here, and Irish too, in the actually after the Civil War. Irish and a lot of Southern Irish too came over here in the late 1800s, like 1880s, well 70s, 80s, and 90s and stuff, and pushed out west and settled out there. And some of them stayed on the East Coast. Most people actually stayed on the Eastern Seaboard, believe it or not. They didn't, or they went into the Midwest or something. They didn't push too far up, but some people went all the way. They went all the way to Montana and see whatever that was out there. They like built a city called it Seattle. Okay, a lot of people went that far, but it wasn't. World War II did not start until September 1939, and we did not get involved, I don't believe, until 1943. No, 1941, December 7th, against the Japanese. But we did not get into the European theater until 1940. I think it was 43. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 1941, and then with the Germans in 1943. I don't know when we actually declared war on them. Yeah, I'm what they call a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Yes. I'm Northern European ethnic ethnicity, but I'm definitely an American. I can assure you of that. I mean, that's part of my mother's family. Part of my mother's family actually came here back in 1713. Their last name is Gordy, Gordy. They came here. Where did they come to? Came to like Quebec and Maryland. And some of my mother's father's family left Maryland, left Canada, came down to Maryland, did not like that in the Baltimore area, and then we have a genealogy way before all this Ancestry.com. We did this way back in the 1990s, and then they went down to Louisiana. My mother's father's father or something like that, and his brother went down to Louisiana from Maryland or something, and they bought some land, and they had a sugar cane plantation down there. Yeah, the same sugar cane that people in prison in Angola chop down. They have to get down there real low and chop that sugar cane. You know about that. It's messed up, isn't it? Thank you, Atakula. Tiffany, you're from Michigan. I've been to Michigan. I've been to Kalamazoo, and I've been to Detroit. I know Kalamazoo because I was there, and don't even ask me why I was there. I was a long time ago. I drove my car with my friend. We went all the way to Milwaukee from Philadelphia. We just stopped in this place, and like they used to like drag race cars there or something. Like we were young people, and people were like drag racing their cars in Kalamazoo. I don't know what that's all about, and showing off all their rides. This was like way back in ancient times. I wasn't supposed to be. So you used to be able to drive when you were 16. It depended on back. It was different back then. Do you know where Kalamazoo is? Yeah, I know what a Spitfire is. Spitfire was a British fighter plane. Those planes are like little toys compared to what we have now, aren't they? Can you imagine being up in there in that rattly thing? I mean, just if you're not even in a combat, if you're just like in the Air Force and you're just, that's your job, and you get in one of those things and you have to take it up in the air and fly it around, and It's so it looks like so much like a toy compared to what we have now. It looks like it could just fall apart. I don't even know if my grandfather was in the Marines, and when he was done being a Marine in the South Pacific, you know what he did? He survived somehow. They used to take fruit from the South Pacific Islands, and they used to throw it in a big giant hole and smash it, right? And smash it with their feet until the fruit would rot and would ferment and would turn into alcohol, and they would make their own alcohol out of whatever fruit that they picked off the trees after they were done fighting Japanese on the island. Did you know they used to get drunk doing stuff like that? I don't know how he survived that. He was only about 5'8". That's my mother's father. He survived. He was a Marine. That was a horrible war, but when you're like Germany and Japan, you think you're going to fight the whole world. It might not work out too well for you. Other people might have other ideas. Maybe that was the last really just conflict we've ever had. Hi, Lisa Kerr. Scotty Too Hottie, 13. You kind of look like the Temu Kurt Russell. I like Michigan has 4 seasons. I like the Midwest. I'm moving to the Midwest. Kansas City, Missouri. I've been in Charlotte, North Carolina for about 3 years now. I was in Los Angeles for a very long time, maybe 29 years or so. 3 years of been maybe 27, 28, 29. I don't know how many years, but I was also up in Washington State. I lived in a suburb of in the late 90s for 3 years, 2.5 years. I lived in a suburb of Seattle called Bellevue. Yeah, Bellevue. Bellevue is also the name of a hospital in Manhattan. It's a very nice city. I had a good time up there in Washington State. Wonderful people up there. Okay, Tyler C9156. I heard you once are a bit prejudiced or disliking against the South. Anything in particular, or the fact it sucks, or just the fact it sucks? I don't have anything in particular. You got to realize that my father's family goes back many generations in Texas. My mother's family goes many generations back in 2 different places, and one of them is Louisiana. The other one, my mother's family, comes from Nebraska. But I have family members that my ancestors did fight for the Confederate States of America in the Civil War. Just to let you know, on my father and mother's side. I mean, the way I look at that war is that those people were traitors at the time. I'm not saying that the South now is a completely different place. I'm glad they put electricity in lots of parts of the South in the 1930s. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it's true. Large areas of the South that did not have electricity in the 1930s. I don't have any problem with the South. I mean, the South is just not my cup of tea. I mean, I grew up in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and in New Jersey and lived out in Los Angeles. I think I'm more of a Northern cultured person, but I will say one thing about the Carolinas is that when you meet the locals in the Carolinas is that people are very, very neighborly and they're very friendly. I'm disappointed with the condition of Charlotte, North Carolina right now. There's a high crime rate there. It's a big city. There's a lot of people from a lot of different places moving there, mostly the Northeast, the crowded cities up north, and they poured into Charlotte, North Carolina. And a lot of the people that I've talked to, they grew up in Charlotte or around Charlotte, are not very happy about the increased crime rate and the property crime and violent crime rate and the cost of living. I just don't think that the cost of living here is matching up with what I see. That's just my personal opinion. It's also based, there's actual facts of things that are really actually not, the crime is real. That's not an opinion. But I just decided that I gave this place a shot, and now I'm going to go. And I'm going to go to some place that actually has 600,000 less people in the metropolitan area. Kansas City, Missouri / Kansas City, Kansas, Independence, Missouri, which includes Overland, Kansas. That metropolitan area has approximately 2.3 million people living in it. Charlotte, North Carolina metropolitan area, which is Charlotte, North Carolina suburbs, and some suburbs in South Carolina, actually has a population of 2,950,000 people approximately. So what is that like? So when I go down, when I relocate and I move to Kansas City, Missouri, I'm going to be living in a metropolitan area that has approximately, give or take, 650,000 less human beings that I have to be around, and has really good hospitals and research facilities and good medical groups and the kind of specialists that I need. Like, for example, I have to see I don't have health problems and stuff, but when you get over 45 years old, I mean, you should be seeing an internist. And if I plan on staying somewhere for a while, if Jesus allows me to get older, then I want to live in a place that has cardiologist, pulmonologist, endocrinologist. Maybe God forbid, I'll have a problem with my thyroid. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. I have longevity in my family. I got people that live to be in their late 80s and into their 90s in my family. So what happens if I live to be 100? One day I will be old and crusty, and I will need doctors to keep me alive, right? I'm one of those guys that goes to the doctor. I actually take care of myself, because I used to not take care of myself. I used to party a lot. You see, I lived in LA, and you guys know what happens in LA, right? People party a lot. They work hard. They party hard. That's what they do. Some people don't work, live in a tent, and they party hard. I worked hard, actually had a place to live, okay, and a job and everything. And I also partied hard on the weekends. That's what I did. Oh my God, if you think, what the funny thing, I got to tell you something. Dennis Vale, 374. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I want to let you know something. Oh, you're 72? Okay. I'm not. I'm younger than that, but let me fix this. And Peggy Fairweather, I want to tell you guys something about California. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when the minimum wage was the highest in California of any state in the whole country, right? And they only had it at $4. I think it was $3. I think it was, what was it in 1989? It's like, I think it was either $3.75 or $4.25, something like that. And you got to understand that I rented a guest house that had a shower and everything, like a little mini apartment in back of some older couple's house up in the Hollywood Hills, right? In a neighborhood called Hollywoodland. There's an actual neighborhood called Hollywoodland. It was a development in the 20s. That's why the Hollywood sign was originally there in the first place. It was an advertisement that the city took over. But I lived up there, and I remember how hard it was to pay to work as a waiter and a bartender, and go all the way down that hill and wreck my transmission and everything like that, and come up with $450 of rent and maintain my car and go on my quest on my days off with my friend. That quest for hot chicks. That's what we used to do, us guys. Okay, we used to do stuff like that back then, right? Okay, so I had things I needed to do. I had my priorities straight. I didn't talk about politics 24 hours a day like these young people do. Okay, so I had stuff to do, right? That was expensive. I mean, when you're only making, like, you're a waiter and you're making what? $3.75 an hour, and back in them days, if you did a 6-hour shift and you made $80, say if you worked as a waiter or a bartender in 5 hours or 6 hours at any restaurant, because remember, people used to have money with the credit cards and everything back then. And I'd say making $80 in a night was good. That's probably the equivalent of making maybe about $250 in today's money, right? Something like that. I'm trying to get the inflation adjusted for inflation. I'm guesstimating right now. But it was expensive back then. It's always been more expensive to live in Southern California than other places. But there were places for people to live that did not have a lot of money. You could live in Van Nuys, like far away from downtown LA, or people that lived on the margins of society, druggies and stuff like that did not want to work. They were on like welfare checks or something like that, and they were like doing drugs on top of that or whatever they're doing, because they used to give free money out to everybody out there. They had all this stuff out there before nowadays. I remember the 80s. And they used to have cheap motels that like druggies would hang out. Guess where all those motels are? They're all bulldozed. They're all gone. A lot of cheap apartments, like apartments outside of downtown LA that used to rent them by the week, or you rent them by the month or something like that. All that low income type of housing, about 30 to 40,000 units, no longer exist since 2010. It took a while to get rid of them, but within 10 years, they're all gone. Plus, you got 900,000 illegal aliens in LA County. Now you know why there's like 80 to 100,000 homeless people all over LA County. Because you got all these extra people that came into the country, right? Plus, you got rid of all those cheap housing units. All those people living in tents used to live in motels, like at least part-time, but they don't have anywhere to go. You can have hobos or whatever you want to call them, like professional vagrants and stuff. I'm not talking about someone that's just homeless for a little while because somebody did them wrong. I'm talking about professional guys that like to live outside. They do that. It's what they do. They ride trains across country. They've been going out to Southern California ever since 100 years ago. We just never had 100,000 of them. I mean, I had to leave. My lady friend, we had to get out of there. Dude, I had to get out of there. And I was, I'm 19 years clean now. On August, is it August the 8th yet? No, it's not. What is it? Let me see. No, it's not. On August the 8th, I'm going to have 19 years clean off of coke, weed, and alcohol. You don't have to give me an attaboy or stuff. I'm not supposed to be doing that stuff anyway, especially when you're over 45. You're not supposed to be doing street drugs. It's stupid. So yeah, Dig Daddy Pod. It's the weather. It's Mediterranean weather. It's the same weather that they have in Palermo, Sicily. Perfect spring weather all year round. Or those islands out in the Mediterranean, what are they called? Corsica or Sardinia or southern Italy, or like in in Spain, like the East Coast and the southern part of Spain, where it's like spring weather all year round. That's why everyone's moving out there. Even the homeless are moving out there. Plus, a long time ago, they used to give out like free money. If you're like there was homeless like dudes that I met from the South and stuff. They would just come out there on a Greyhound bus or something. They'd be hanging out there. I'm like, what? How do you support yourself and stuff like that? He's like, well, they give me like $350. I was like, $350 a month for 6 months, or 6 months in a cheap motel. And they gave him a list of motels to stay in. That's what they were doing back in the 80s and 90s. I was like, damn, man, they're going to pay for you to live in a motel for 6 months? Dude, you can get on your feet, man. Or you have a choice, but they would take the money. They would take the $337. I found out it was $337. And they would give them $119 in food stamps. This is back in, dude, check this out. This is back in 1989. Meanwhile, I'm working 3 jobs, right? There was hobos and dudes doing that stuff that were in their 30s and 40s. When I was 19, I thought somebody that was like 37 years old was old. They're not really old. I think they're young now, but but people, they were handing out more money adjusted for inflation than they are now. People think California is some kind of place where you can go out there and they're just going to give you a bunch of free shit. It's not the same anymore. It's overpopulated. But I'll tell you what, when you're walking around on the streets there, you smell weed everywhere, dude. You see people all geeked out, smoking that glass pipe. I can't stand that stuff. It used to be a real big, California used to be, take their wealth and they used to just give money to people. I used to get jealous. I'd be like, well, I'm working 3 jobs, right? And then all these guys are like living in these cheap motels and they're talking about how they get all this free money. And I'm like, there was people doing stuff like that. But back in them days, like used to think that was kind of being like a bum or lazy, you know? But the world is in trouble. Oh, yes, it is in trouble. It's in a lot of trouble. And we can watch DirecTV or satellite television, or you can watch it on your smartphone. But guess what? We're not going to talk about Iran here. I just don't feel like it today. How about that? We're going to talk about Jesus or something, right? You know, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I had cravings at 6.5 months off of coke and weed and alcohol, and I really wanted to use really bad. And I just opened up the Bible to John 3:16. I read it to myself, and then I asked Jesus to take away the cravings to use coke and weed and alcohol, and he took the cravings away just like that. That happened in February of 2008. I had around 6.5 months clean at the time. I got clean on my first full day of sobriety was August the 8th of 2007. I got clean in the La Cienega Plaza Motel on a little bit south of Pico on La Cienega Boulevard on the west side of the street, if anyone knows where those junkie motels are. And I went to I had insurance too, and I went to my what's called a rug rehab in Inglewood, California, near the LAX airport. Yes, I did. I was in there for 21 days, and then I went and lived in a sober living house for about. I actually stayed there about 8 months, a little bit longer than the 6 months most people do. I needed a little bit of extra help. Now, you know what's really going on in LA a lot is the speed. I never got into it. It's bad. They have different, when I got sober, there was different kinds of substances out on the street. They still have the same substances out there, the stuff I did. It's just that people are more poor now. They don't have as much money out there. So you got all these homeless people out there, and about half of them are running around doing all kinds of really dangerous chemicals that they're brand new news to me. I don't even know what they're called, but it's a mess. And right now, a lot of people don't realize but the federal government, Homeland Security, and all the 3-letter agencies, the FBI, and the DEA, and ICE, and all these different places, they're all out there and they're handling it right now. See, you don't see it on your news. You don't see it on your you have to look for it on your smartphone, but they're all out there. You know why? Because I call people on the telephone. I say, yo, what's up? What's going on out in LA, man? Like, you're not going to believe this, and then they tell me the story about what's really going on out there. There's a lot of 3-letter agencies out there, and they're in multiple counties. What are they doing? Does somebody know more than me? I heard that they are knocking on government workers' houses now. It's not even about drugs or gangs. The FBI is out there like wanting to talk to like government employees and people that run nonprofits that were stealing money out there during the coronavirus debacle. Stealing's wrong. But you can see I get this information from friends I talk to on the telephone. You can watch satellite television and talk about that stuff. And I love hot tea. It's one of my favorites. Let's see what people are saying. Got 100 people in here. Yes, it is at Bartow. 4, 6, 7, 8. It's more dangerous nowadays than it used to be. You never know what they're putting in the dope now. That's a word I haven't used in a while, is dope. Did you know in the East Coast, dope specifically means H? That drug? Maybe it's just a regional thing. Siree, very true. At Lisa Kerr, 6392. Thank you for coming in. Lisa Kerr is also a big supporter of my channel, and I really appreciate you supporting my channel. Thank you for telling other people about it too. No, I'm not wearing makeup. Dude, what do you think? I'm gay, dude? I don't wear makeup. Dude. I have blue eyes. There's little purple stuff around. Purple around my eye. There's other people that have eyes that look like mine, I guess. I don't know. They live in Iowa somewhere. Kratom. I heard about that kratom. I had a friend that almost died from that stuff. Annie Liederman shoots the final sound. Watching from New Zealand. That's a long way away. I always wanted to go there. Jedi Ghost. Dope. Dopamine. That's mascara. No, it's not. No, it's not. Why are you saying that? This is not. It's not mascara. I don't wear makeup. I'm a guy. Okay. I'm a man. I'm a real man. I am what I eat. Put in the chat what that makes me. Go ahead. Don't be embarrassed. I like women. Yeah. Curvy women with bodacious tatas. Mm-hmm. Into ritual. The doll is not done. You creepy motherfucker. That's so weird, dude. And I'm telling you that. Well, you guys got stuff going on in India that is important. You got like over a billion people living there. You're fighting with Pakistan all the time. There's always some kind of shooting going on in northern India near the border all the time. I don't know who's shooting at Indian soldiers, but it needs to stop. I got a problem with that. Okay. And I got a problem with all kinds of problems with, up in the Kashmir. No, those people don't bother anybody. I know you got I'm like, what is these little skirmishes going on? Is that Pakistan doing that? Are Chinese involved? I mean, what's going on up there? Because I don't think that it's India that's starting this. Suresh, I don't think it's India. I know a lot of people from India that own motels in the United States, and they don't look like they start problems with anybody. The only thing they ever do is they own a Motel 6 motel, and they always leave the light on for me. I'm like, whatever. It is India. Oh, so now it's India's fault? It is beautiful here in New Zealand, but we have problems just like everyone else. Yeah, I guess you do. You got a really big great white shark problem out there. What the fuck, man? They're like really big and they like to attack people and stuff, you know, out there with those sharks. You jump out of the water. They grab seals and stuff and smack them down in the water. I see those great white sharks. I think you have like, what I've always heard about New Zealand is that it's very expensive to live there. And when foreigners, like when billionaires move there from other countries, it makes everything go up for everyone else. Just one billionaire, you know? I mean, I could almost understand that New Zealand has to have a certain degree of socialism in it. Because, I mean, you can't, not everyone's going to be a gazillionaire. I mean, where are people in New Zealand going to live? Is there like one of those islands that's cheaper than the other to live on? I always wanted to know that in New Zealand, at Tekula. Is like, which island is like the less expensive place to live, or is there a side of New Zealand that gets more rain than the other, or some reason why it's less expensive? Ew, that's gross. Full moon tonight. Oh, New Zealand is nice. It really is nice. Oh, by the way, thank you for coming to my channel at Hollywoodland22. South Island is cheaper. I'm on in the north. Okay. Is the South Island where Auckland is? No, it's not, Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz. I gotta look, do some Googling on New Zealand. It's cheaper. The South Island's cheaper. Oh, the north is Auckland. Okay, so the South Island's cheaper. I guess if you can secure employment, you can live in the South Island, or I don't know. Maybe I'm sure that some families have been owning land there for a while. If the land is usable, I mean, I don't know what kind of agriculture you do around there, or if there's manufacturing going on and to a certain degree in New Zealand. India is surrounded with challenges. We all are aware. Yeah. It is. It's got a lot of its own issues to deal with, the population alone. I mean, the thing with the elephants alone is a huge issue with these elephants that remember whole families and go after the family. We get that news in America all the time about an elephant. They'll know a family, got a problem with maybe their granddad or something. They still remember everybody in that family and they keep going back and they're like, attacking humans and stuff. You got that issue going on. Okay, the big issue in India, and it happened a few years back. I heard before I moved here, when I was living in Los Angeles, I talked to an Indian Sikh, and he told me that the political corruption, is so bad, like about 3 or 4 years ago, that they had a gigantic protest around Delhi. There was a huge protest with like hundreds of thousands of people protesting because there's stealing and corruption and all kinds of stuff at the federal level in India. And I'm like, damn, that sounds pretty bad, man. I heard about that. I read what's going on in the world. A lot of young farmers from Northern Ireland are in New Zealand. Really? Young farmers from Northern Ireland are in New Zealand. Wow. Dr. Oz, DJ Darren RV, Dr. Oz waiting room. You are so funny, dude. Guess who I'm watching on YouTube? I'm watching what's her face. What's that chick? You know, Daisy with the bodacious tatas. Yeah, I'm watching her. She's smart. She's funny. I watch her channel. I don't know if she knows who I am, but I think she's funny. I'll watch her channel. I'll watch her ride around our skateboard and stuff like that. She has, I heard her story, like her background and stuff. She hasn't had it easy. Daisy hasn't had it easy. And Jesse Waters needs to lay off of her. He needs to take his sarcasm somewhere else. That guy from Fox News talking garbage about Daisy. I think Daisy is cool. The open defecation on the streets. I heard about that in India too. Yes, laugh out loud, Daisy. That's what I'm saying. Why is that kid, what's his name, that Jesse Waters, talking so much? He goes down to Venice Beach and he talks smack. And there's some people that really let him have it down there. But I was saying, why does he have to joke on Daisy? Daisy has had a lot of trauma and a lot of bad things happen to her. I'm not going to get into the details. I remember this. I heard what she said. I listened to her. She hasn't had a totally bad life. I'm just saying, but there have been some bad things that happened to her. And he needs to lay off. I don't ever want to see Jesse Waters talking shit about Daisy anymore. I'm tired of it. He's being a dick. Yo, she's definitely on YouTube. She's usually been, oh, she's there. I think she's very smart, actually. Daisy the Venice Haler. Is that her name? Oklahoma City has the Will Rogers Airport Museum. There's a Will Rogers Beach in Southern California, just north of Santa Monica Beach. Isn't there, DJ Darren? I used to like that beach. I think it's like right when you go down to Topanga Canyon and you go all the way from like the San Fernando Valley, you can cruise down to Topanga Canyon and boom, there's Will Rogers Beach right there. I used to live in the San Fernando Valley for like a while. I lived most of my adult life in Los Angeles. Can you believe that? And I moved all the way out here to Charlotte. Now, DJ Darren, you know I moved all the way here to North Carolina, right? I gave it a try. It's not my cup of tea. It's not a bad place to live. Charlotte has a lot of crime problems that it shouldn't. But North Carolina as a whole is a really kind of an interesting state, and it's a nice state, and it has a beach here too. There are beaches like in the southern part of North Carolina, like their southern beaches near the city of Wilmington. They have some really nice beaches with very warm water. It's much warmer than the Pacific Ocean. And I do like their beaches. It's a blast. They're packed. There's all kinds of hot chicks all over the place and everything. There's a resurgence of also Savannah, Georgia has some nice beaches too. I'd say from like Myrtle, I'd say from North Carolina, from Topsail Beach, all the way from like where kind of, you know, like North Carolina has those islands that kind of go sticking out in the ocean like that. They're really out in the sea, but the southern part where Topsail Beach is, and Wilmington, and they got a military base there, and then you go all the way down to South Carolina. The beaches are nice, and down in Georgia, and then going down into Florida, in northern Florida, they got really nice beaches. And you know what's kind of cool about North Carolina is they do have a winter here, like in the eastern part of the state, like from about Raleigh down to the South Carolina border, and as far east as Wilmington, where the beach is. But the winter in that like southeastern corner of the state is the winters are like mild. You know how like in Las Vegas you get a little winter that LA doesn't get or San Diego doesn't get? It's kind of like that in like the southern part of the southeastern part of North Carolina. It gets just a little winter. It can snow a little bit, but it's not much, and it's gone. You only get like 2.5 months of what maybe people from up north, like New York and stuff, they love it down here. They're coming down here like crazy. They're just moving here. They won't stop moving here. That hundreds of thousands of people are moving here to Charlotte and Raleigh because the winters are not like, they don't get the deep snow. You know what I mean? That up north gets, those northern states. So they kind of like it here, dude. I think you would like it here for a vacation. I think it'd be really cool. Me personally, I want to let people know, especially, I don't know if DJ Darren's still here, but DJ Darren, oh, your dad's family is all from North Carolina. Are they really? Okay. Wait a minute. Was your dad in the military? Is that the whole reason he was around San Diego in the first place? I don't know, DJ Darren. DJ Darren is on YouTube. He has a really good channel. You need to go check it out. Just north of Santa Monica Beach. Yes, that's correct, DJ Darren. Yeah, we know those beaches. I can't believe I actually survived outside of Southern California for 3 years. Exactly. They consider the Ganges River holy, and they trash the shit out of that. Oh, okay. I'm learning stuff here. Oh, yeah, up in Massachusetts. I got family that lives in Worcester, Massachusetts, and it's cold up there. They're like on the city council and stuff. They're all into politics and stuff. Some of my family, on my father's side of the family. That's my last name, but I'm not going to tell you what my last name is. My last name is on my Cash App. I haven't put my Cash App up here yet because this is a non-monetized channel. I'm just trying to get subscribers right now. I just need to get to like 5,000 subscribers. Between 5,000 and 7,000. Somewhere in that range, I'm going to monetize this channel. So right now, I'm just doing this for fun, right? And what I need you to do is just type in @Hollywoodland21. @Hollywoodland21 is my handle, and hit the subscribe button. People are beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know people think I look like Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell waiting room. Yeah, you look like Kevin Bacon, kind of. Kind of, you do, dude. Darren, you kind of do look like Kevin Bacon a little bit. I noticed that. DJ Darren is a DJ. He also is very good at automobile repair, motorcycle repair, making scooters out of various parts, making $1 out of 15 cents, telling the truth about Las Vegas, that it sucks, and some other things. So you should go watch. You should go watch @DJ Darren RV. That's @DJ Darren RV. I have met some interesting people on YouTube and TikTok too. Oh, by the way, DJ Darren, when I first came out here, you know what I did? I did a TikTok channel for like 10 months, and then I stopped doing TikTok on October 22nd or 33rd last year. I might do something with TikTok again, but I don't like the way they kept saying, oh, we're going to ban TikTok. We're going to ban TikTok. My federal government in the United States was talking about banning TikTok all the time, so I just got tired of it. Like, I just chat on TikTok. I got 7,000 and some change followers on my TikTok channel. It's an orange H with a black background. That is my original channel, and that's how many followers I have. So I'm keeping it, and I chat with a lot of people on that platform, TikTok. They're going through a lot of changes. They've gone through some ownership, the changing of ownership. And I think that their management is trying to figure out what they want to do with TikTok. They keep trying, experimenting with a lot of things. And some people are complaining. A lot of people aren't making the money they used to make. I think things are going to eventually get better for TikTok. But right now, a lot of people that I know that used to live stream more on TikTok will keep their TikTok page and go there like once a week or something, but they're coming over to, guess where? They're coming over to YouTube, and they're coming over to Kick. I noticed that with Kick already on the IP2 network, the Ice Beside network, that a lot of people like Chicken Andy and all them, they're all going and once Sonic and all them, Alfredo, all those dudes and Billy John, they're all going to go over to Kick too. Like, they'll have a YouTube channel, but they'd be on Kick too. So they'll be on Kick, right? But that seems to be where a lot of people are going. There's a reason for everything. Okay. I'm Randall. This is @Hollywoodland21. Twitch and TikTok are over with. A lot of people are saying that. I disagree. I think Twitch is always going to be a niche for like gamers and stuff. Even they're the ones that really started all this in real life live streaming, really. Um, um, I think TikTok will be around. I think it's just going to have to iron some things out and stuff. Some people say that TikTok has a lot of I watch, I don't know, anywhere between 3 and 5 TikTok channels regularly. And I got to know some people that live stream on TikTok that are some really, really wonderful people. And there's some interesting people too. Some people I really like a lot. And they know who they are. If they watch my channel, well, they know who they are. I don't know if they watch my channel. I let all of the people that I watch on TikTok that are live streamers know that I have a channel over here, and I sent them the information and stuff like that. But I don't know if they watch me or not. But there are some good streamers over there that are not getting their videos pushed out. I don't know if that's happening on YouTube too. I think that YouTube's been around longer, and I'm doing much better on YouTube than TikTok. I'm gaining subscribers at a faster clip. I don't play with TikTok. The psychological algorithms and the data mining are a little much for me, considering it's a Chinese technology. Yeah, this definitely, you could definitely tell it's a different platform. I watch people. I have not started a Kick channel. I'm thinking about it. Not right now. It might be different material. This is a variety channel. We talk about everything here. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll talk about Donald Trump and Obama's wife, Michelle, Michael, or whatever their name is. And we'll talk about Kamala and all these other people. You want to talk about politics? We'll talk about politics. Okay, I'm not really into politics that much, but if you want to talk about it, you know, let's talk about like how we're going to figure out how to get these grocery prices down. How about that? Yeah, but I think TikTok will work itself out. I just really think that YouTube is doing well for a reason. I think their management is spot on. TikTok management is holding their mud, and they're handling their business and standing on business. And that's why I stay here at YouTube. And my YouTube handle name is @Hollywoodland21. That's @Hollywoodland21. Tell all your friends to join Randall, that's me, on YouTube @Hollywoodland21, and hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you anything. I don't charge. I'm not even, this is a non-monetized channel for right now. Let's get me up to 5,000 subscribers. That's what we really need to do. By September 1st, I want to be up to 10,000 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button to @Hollywoodland21, @Hollywoodland21. That's me. Thank you very much. Yeah, because I don't need anybody's money right now. Thank you, Kelly Nunez 9974. Yeah, I know you're a subscriber. Thank you very much. YouTube on top. Yeah, @Shroom_Grizzly. Michael Obama. I actually, you know, I think it's a chick, okay? I don't know what's going on. Like all this politics stuff. Some of these far right guys, they'll be going out saying, oh, that's a dude and all this other stuff. It's like, come on, man. Do you want to know what really scares me? Some of these far right guys that hang around and read Guns and Ammo magazine, but they never buy a magazine at the newsstand, and they're always hanging around. They're dressed up in combat boots and stuff like that. Those guys scare me more than left-wing radicals do. Okay? Now, you know that I'm a political centrist, right? I'm right down the middle. That doesn't mean I'm sitting on the fence. I'm just right down the middle. I'm a lot like Bill Maher. I don't mind a little bit of social services for people that truly need it. I think that's wonderful. I think that I think there needs to be something done about. You know what? You know what this country has a really big problem with? Guys that do not know how to court a woman. That needs to be taught. Somebody needs to teach. You know what? You should Google it. Just Google it. Courting a woman. Men, all you young men, the courtship process. Read it on Google and just do whatever Google says, okay, about courting a woman. You can even court a woman on TikTok or YouTube or Kick. Did you know that? There's guys that actually do that. They're like, in vain, trying to court a woman on one of these social media channels. It's insane. But because people don't go to bars anymore, right? They don't go to clubs like they used to because nobody has any money, right? Well, the younger people don't have any money. I mean, I got money, but you don't have money. Some of you people under 30 have money. It depends on who you are. Where's Jesse's girl? Yo, man, I don't know. 8675309, right? What's with it? Come on, man. I said, don't talk about politics and grow a beard like Abraham Lincoln and ride a scooter. Fuck that shit, man. Get 3 jobs and buy yourself a fucking used car. Make sure that it's fixed and it's insured, registered, and you have a license. And don't be a loser doing drugs and stuff like that. And go with your friends. You can all go in one car and you go out to the nightclub and you get to go on a quest for hot chicks. That's what you're supposed to do before you're the age of 30. You're supposed to be looking for hot chicks that one day you might really like a lot and get married and produce offspring and stuff like that. That's what you're supposed to be doing, dude. You're born a man, you have to go out there and you have to work and you have to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's your side job, making $1 out of 15 cents. That's your gig work. Gig work is part-time shit. You got to go get a job. You know, those sucky jobs like at Amazon and stuff where you have to like work in there all day, hurt your back and everything like that. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. I hope you didn't go to college and get a degree in liberal arts, which is good for nothing. You don't get a master's or a teacher certificate. I hope you didn't go to college and waste all that money and stuff like that, then have to go work as a barista. But guess what? You have to go to work. Party time's over, man. Jesse's girl has a daughter, and she's divorced now. And Jesse's girl has a daughter that's divorced, and she's got a couple kids, but she's pretty hot. She's looking for a guy to take care of her. Why'd you go try to date her? So true, Jen Green. Can you give advice for who's in their 20s? If you're in your 20s, whether you're a man or a woman, you know what you need to be doing? You need to be working all the time and living well below your means. And there's nothing wrong with living with your parents. Just pay your parents some rent money and pay for your own food. If your parents allow you to stay in the house in this horrible economy, just go get 3 jobs, save up all your money. You're living at your mom and dad's house, and they're just going to charge, like, if you just want to have to throw them like maybe 50, 75, maybe $100 a week to help out. That's a lot less than an apartment. You live at your parents' house, right? You save all your money up. And maybe one day, and if you're a dude and you're living with your mother and you don't know who your dad is or something like that, and you're living at home, don't be mean to your mom. Okay? Stop playing video games so much. Go out and get 3 jobs. Get a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. Work on the weekends to save up all the money you can. Okay, if you're under the age of 30, and just work, and save money, and don't eat expensive food. Just save everything. Don't buy crypto and any of that stuff. Just save all your money up and stuff, and you help your mom out with the what do they call it? The groceries and the utility bills. If you're a single mother and you're a guy, maybe you got some siblings at the house, help her out and stuff like that. I know that it's expensive. You don't want to go rent out one of these fucking apartments. Might as well stay with your family anyway. You got to save all that money up if you're a man. You know why? Because women cost money. Yeah, they do. Don't ever ask a woman to go Dutch. Don't ever pay, you pay for all dates. If you're a dude, you pay for all dates. You pay for everything. If the chick wants to get a room or something like that, you pay for all that too. You pay for everything. You don't ask any woman to pay for anything. It's bad for your reputation. Oh yeah, that's right. If there are any nightclubs that happen to be still open and you're in your 20s, I'm not sure if there are or if anybody has any money to go. But since you're working 3 jobs and your mother was nice enough to let you live in her house and pay or her apartment and help out with the bills and stuff like that, you can live cheap in your mom's house. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with living with your mom. Hey, maybe your dad took off and he's not around. Help your mom out, stuff like that. Live in the house. Help her out. Save some money. And check this out. If you're working 3 jobs for about 6 months straight, I know you save some money up, right? So you can afford to actually go to a nightclub if there's one around where you live. So you live in like some bigger city. Say you live in, I don't know, what's a bigger city like? Somewhere. And there's like a nightclub. You want to go out with your friends and stuff like that. What should you do? Oh, always have a prophylactic, like 10 of them. You never know. She might want to get busy for like 2 days straight in a motel, right? She might be one of those chicks, right? But I would recommend that you take your money and that you wait about 2 years and don't buy a house until about maybe a couple years from now. You know what you should do? You should find yourself like when you go to the nightclub, when you go in there, you go there and you find the most beautiful woman in the whole club, okay? In the whole nightclub. The best looking woman in there, and you ask her to dance. And just make pretend you know how to dance, because I know you don't, right? But you go and you hook up with the best looking girl in the club, if nightclubs still exist, or if you're going to a bar. Always ask the best looking girl out in the club first. Why not? Maybe she's nice on top of that. You never know. You can't judge really good-looking women. You know women that are like 8s, 8.5s, 9s. Maybe once in your life you run into a woman that's a 9.5. You never know. Don't just figure they're going to be nuts or something like that. They might be very friendly people. You might end up getting yourself a wife that's a 9.5. Can you imagine that? I don't know if they do exist because there's so many, because there used to be 10 times more than I see now. Yeah, even doing chores for your parents. Do nightclubs, tell me, Mr. Yates, do nightclubs still exist? Because I don't see them. I mean, I was in LA and they like all closed down, like almost all of them. The worst thing that can happen is she can say no. That's exactly right, at Bartow. The worst thing she can say no. She can reject you. And then you go on to the next hot chick, like the second hottest looking chick in the nightclub. I used to do this on a regular basis. Like you're not gonna run into a 9, but there'd be like in the whole nightclub, there's like 200 people, right? And there's like, maybe there's like 2 8s. A few 7s in the whole nightclub, right? You go after the hottest chick and you ask her out to dance. What if she says no? Oh my God. What if she says no? Do you guys want to hear a good story? Churches at Jive, at Jive 6753. Churches are good places to meet women. You can go to a Christian singles group, and that's an even better idea. You can meet a nice lady at a Christian singles group. That's right. And you can get right with Jesus. That's right. Thank you, RFN, at RFN 26. Thank you. Yes, nightclubs do exist. Okay, I'm glad they do. That's a good thing. There's a place for people to meet, mingle. Shoot for the stars and you might land on the moon. That's right. I met both my parents and exes at work. Oh, did you really? I'm not even going to make a comment to that. You know, there's some dudes that like biggins. You know, they just do. There's dudes that like, I don't know, man. You never know. You know what happens? You know what's really bad is these guys that are so dumb that they meet some woman that's like a 9, right? They meet a woman that's a 9. Because we're going to get into this. Oh, yes, we are. They meet a woman that's a 9, right? I mean a 9 in the looks department, a 9.5 with no makeup on. That good looking. Actually, better looking than almost all movie stars, right? So the man meets a woman who's a 9.5, because 10s don't exist, right? I've never seen one. I lived in Hollywood. And then, you know what they do? You're not going to believe. Go ahead and tell me what they do. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, but what kind of a guy would be so full of himself that he would meet a 9 or 9.5, like a really beautiful woman that doesn't even need makeup, and then cheat on her after marrying her? You've got to be a major egocentric person in order to do something like that. Or you have a very low IQ, one or the other. But there's men that do that. Mm-hmm. He's a Tommy Lee. See, I wouldn't do that because I make mistakes and stuff, but I'm not that bum. That's really horrible. You know what? I'm going to tell you something, ladies. If you're married and you have a child and your husband cheats on you, get separated and divorce him, get yourself legal counsel, and take half his stuff. Do it. Any man that would cheat on his wife, especially if they have a child together, is cowardice. And they have no self-respect, and they have no respect for their wife or their child. They would never do something like that, especially a married man with a child would cheat on his wife. It's evil is what it is. And I'm going to call you, I'm going to pull your card. It's wrong. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's my advice. All you women have been cheated on. Get a legal separation. Get away from them. Go to court for whatever, who gets custody or partial custody or visitation rights and stuff like that, and get a really good lawyer. Get a really good lawyer, because it's cowardice and it's disrespectful to the wife. It's horrible. No, I'm 19 years. I've seen that too. I've seen this at Bartow 4, 6, 7, 8. And I'm like, I'm not talking about men, like, you know how men are, like a lot of guys like in their 20s are like that. But when you get to a certain age, you know what I mean? Even if you're in your 30s or your 40s or something like that, you're going to cheat on your wife when you have a child on top of that. That's cowardice to do that. That's wrong, and that's beyond wrong, because what you've done is you've broken the trust. It's gone. And any woman that goes back out with a man that's already cheated on you, especially if you have a kid with that man, it's not going to work out. He's going to cheat again, and he's going to cheat again, and he's going to cheat again. It's never going to end. You can only imagine what kinds of things he's doing with that other woman while you're home with your child. It's evil for a man to do that. It's actually evil for a woman to do that to a man too. I just want to say that you know, usually women don't do that. I don't care what people talk about on social media. It's mostly men that do that. Yeah, it still is, all over the world. It's horrible. I'm not perfect. I'm a hot mess. I was a colossal fuck up. Okay. But the one thing I will pride myself on, well, pride comes before the fall. The one thing I'm kind of like about myself is that whenever I had a lady friend, if I didn't want to see her anymore, I would break up with her first, then be with another woman. I wouldn't like cheat on them, like have my cake and eat it too. That's evil. That's wrong. I can't do that. I just think that's wrong, because to me, that's lying. And I don't like liars. I got a problem with people that lie. Like people that lie, I'm just not into them. I don't know how you people feel about liars, but I don't like liars. And I think that cheating is actually lying. It's a lie of the heart. And it's a cowardice thing. But that's, if you don't agree with me, please tell me in the chat why you don't agree with me. I would love to hear this. No, I'm not lying. I always, if I had a girlfriend that I was seeing for at least like she and I knew, I was clear, I'm not dating any other women, just dating you. Even if it's 3 months, when I was like a young guy, right? I would stick with her. And then I've had relationships longer than that. I almost got married to one woman when I was in my 20s. But I always said, it's not working out, or she let me go, one or the other. And then I was with somebody else. Or I was with nobody else. I don't know. But I just don't cheat. It's just something I don't do. It was something that, yeah, I agree. You agree with me? Cheating is cowardly, isn't it? Leave the person if you want to see somebody else. That's right. It is. Legalized coke. Maybe it should be legalized. I don't know. Social media is the grass is greener mentality by a million. I know, it's really weird. It's like, people watch social media, and you're minding your own business, and they invent this social media thing on Twitch, and then pretty soon you're on YouTube, and then they invent this thing called TikTok, and then you got all these people, and they all get into some group called this Generation X group or something like that. I've seen them. I don't like everybody that's this Generation X. I talk to I am friends with people in their 30s and 40s. Yeah. I'm not going to hang out with a bunch of people I'm not going to hang out with exclusively people in their 50s. I'm too immature to do that anyway. Drugs are bad. Okay. Yes, cheating is a lie. Yeah, I always thought cheating was a lie, and it's a cowardly behavior. Yeah, no matter if it's a man or a woman that does it. Or both of the same sex relationship. It makes no difference. You're cheating, you're cheating. It's a lie. And really, I don't understand any woman that would go back out with a guy that cheated on them, especially if they have a child with that man. I'm like, you're better than that. Like, he's just going to cheat on you again. You live one time. Don't waste any time with somebody that did something like that to you. You can forgive them. You don't forget it. Doesn't mean you have to stay married to the guy. And if there's a bunch of guys that don't like me for saying that, I'll give a fuck, dude. But give a fuck, kind of give a fuck. We'll see. My wife had a business meeting with another man in the evening for a meal. She said it was strictly business, but I always had my doubts. You never know. That's the one thing you never fucking know, do you? Candy McCary said hi. Me neither. FR. My wife cheated on me. I'm sorry to hear that, Thomas Robertson. It does happen. But you know what? Life goes on. And you know what? That's why I left my last boyfriend. It could have been worse. Could have been married to him. A lot of us have been through this kind of stuff. I brought it up for a reason. I thought it was important. Listen to the 80-year-old Botox patient. Botox? I hope you're not referring to me. I don't take Botox. No, I don't have any mascara. If a man cheats, he will be history. Like Andrew Jackson, history. Paige Matherson, 8601, has a beautiful story. I have been married to my best friend for 46 years. Congratulations. That is beautiful. I tried marrying lesbians. If one leaves, I still have the other one. How cool. That's great advice. I've been saying that life is too short to tolerate anything. And I don't tolerate people lying, cheating, or stealing from me. I don't tolerate me I don't use drugs anymore. I don't do that stuff for 19 years though. But when I was running around in the street, even when I was like using dangerous controlled substances, if somebody was stupid enough to get in my face or actually try to put their hands on me, I didn't tolerate that either. The asphalt is my best friend. Did you know that? I used to show them the asphalt. But I cared about myself even while I was out of my mind on chemicals, running around the streets of Los Angeles. I'm not going to let anybody put their hands on me. I guarantee you that, Jack. And another thing, when I was at bars and stuff, you know what the dumbest thing in the whole world to do is to go to a bar where there's a bunch of dudes that are union guys that make good money, and they have a bunch of kids and a wife that they don't like anymore, and they just kind of do the same thing every day, and they go to work and they come home, they drink, and they're drinking at the bar because they don't want to be back with their wife and their kids because they can't stand their wife anymore. And those kind of guys, and go to one of their bars when you're not one of them, like you're from outside another neighborhood, and go to one of those guys' local bars in a town like Philadelphia or something like that, and go to those bars and go drinking and talk to one of their barflies. You know what's going to happen? Dude, they're going to roll your ass. After you've been drinking for a while, you're done out in the parking lot, dude. Don't go to those watering holes. They're not good for your teeth. How do you have a sexless marriage? I don't get it. I don't know. Now, that's odd. There are people like that. I don't understand that. Oh, Candy McCary, you're in Canada. Where are you in Canada? I've been to Canada. I've been to Vancouver. I've been to Victoria, too. As to the asphalt, it can happen. I would not recommend running around starting crap with people. You never know when someone's going to have a sidearm on them at 3 o'clock in the morning on Hollywood Boulevard. And you're a tough guy and you're 6'5". You might lose. And you know where tough guys go? They end up in prison, almost all of them. You know, if you think you can fight, and you think you're tough, and you think you're a badass and stuff, you know what you need to do? You really need to join the United States Marine Corps. They're looking for a few good, crazy motherfuckers like you that want to go overseas and do stuff like that. This guy is spun. Maybe I am. Ontario. I've never been to Ontario. I want to visit Ontario sometime. Oh, by the way, I'm spun, but I'm having fun. And guess what? I'm going to do something about this hair. This hair is too long, and it's about time to get a haircut, isn't it? I'm going to get a haircut in the next couple of weeks. What do you think? Or less than that. Maybe I'll get a haircut on the 11th of this month. And it might be a different color. You never know. You guys think about what color you think it should be. I think it's a little too dark. What do you think? Don't touch that dial. Dude, life's too short. Don't fuck around with that. That was between a month over. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't do shit like that. I don't fucking cheat. Just don't do it. Look at this. I mean, it looks like something from the fucking 70s. Fucking mom and shit. Who's making all that noise in here? I've had just about enough out of these two. If they don't lower their voices, I'm going to have to call the authorities. Hi, I'm back. 1 hour and 35 minutes. Wow. At Hollywoodland22, thank you very much. I am on YouTube. It's me, Randall, at Hollywoodland22. No, at Hollywoodland21. I changed it. It's at Hollywoodland21 is my handle. If you want to subscribe, I'd like you to subscribe. I need to get to 10,000 followers by September the 1st of this year. Thank you very much for subscribing to at Hollywoodland22. They're blue with purple in them. See? Oh, did we have some bad people come in here? Wow, really? Who was in here? And thank you for liking my channel too. I get my hair shaped every 6 months. Do you? It's getting so expensive for a haircut. You look like Bruce Springfield, really. You're gay, Hellcat, and I'm straight. No, I didn't do it this time. Not this time, Lisa Kerr. Now, look at this. This is starting to look like, here, I'll show you the back. Okay, now I'm starting to look like that. I'm starting to look like a rerun, like 1970s television show or something like that now. You know, it's time to get a haircut. Okay. I promise I will. I believe my tentative plans on getting a haircut on the 11th of this month. When is it? The 3rd tomorrow? Yes. So I see. Laugh out loud. I thought it was someone's meemaw. This was someone's meemaw, really? You thought so? Jason Baby? No. I've heard that. I'm straight. I just like it shaved. You do? Some people do. Yeah, I think so, especially when my hair is lighter. I'm going light brown. I'm doing a different brand too. I'm going to do Clairol, light brown. I just have a little gray on this side. Underneath here somewhere, I think there's some gray here. Usually there's some gray here. You don't even see it because my hair is so long. But that's usually what is going on with my hair. I don't really have too much gray. My hair's... But what happened is I used L'Oreal. I used L'Oreal medium brown, and it came out really dark brown. And it's starting to become medium brown just right now. I'm going to use light brown and Clairol. We'll see what happens. There'll probably be a bunch of red coming out of it, like there was. You look at my old some of my TikTok videos. I'm Hollywoodland, just 2 words separated. Hollywoodland. That's my channel name on TikTok. If you want to see some of I have a few old videos up there. I pop into people's chats quite frequently. I'm a poster. I run around and I post people's stuff. If you have like videos or even cool things that you write, things that are really, really, really important, that written posts, I post people's material. Particularly people who I watch their live streams and I'm trying to help them promote their channel and get their channel advertised and marketed. There's about 5 channels I do that for. One channel I do it for a lot. They know who they are. I have my favorite channel. I know who my favorite channel is. I have my second favorite channel. I'm not going to tell you what platforms all these are on. Like I watch YouTube, Kick, and TikTok. Maybe about a total of 10 channels that I watch on a regular basis. I just cruise through and look at some stuff. Maybe on this phone, I might go to a news aggregate, like I don't know, someplace, and I read what's going on in the world maybe once or twice a week. I'm not really into. You have one child, he's 54 years old? Really? That's not too young. 54. Hello from Scotland. Bio, yes he does. I think I need to get a little bit more hot tea to drink. Let's take a walk over here. I'm just keeping this huge. I'm just trying to get subscribers here. I'm not trying to make any money right now. I don't need any money. I do need subscribers. If you could subscribe to @Hollywoodland21. That's @Hollywoodland21. Thank you very much. It's free to subscribe. I stand on business. Do you stand on business? I do. You only live once. You might as well try. You might as well give 110% to life, right? Double tap the screen. Thank you very much. Does that work on YouTube? I don't know. There's 64 people in here and 98 likes. We're almost to 100 likes. Let's get 101 likes. Let's see. How much grocery shopping do I have to do? I have not eaten this stovetop stuffing for about 9 months. I wonder if it's still good. Wow, look what we have here. Mashed potatoes. Oh boy, I did chicken bouillon cubes when I had my colonoscopy. I did eat those damn things. Let's see, I'm gonna check my refrigerator. Well, I have chicken breast, chicken nuggets. I'm not allowed to eat butter. Well, not too much, maybe just a couple pats a day. Yeah, it's time to go grocery shopping. Yes, it is. I think we have enough until about, let's see, maybe until Wednesday. I'll go shopping Wednesday. That's what I'll do. We're gonna make something to drink here. I'm gonna show you guys what I make to drink. I'm gonna make Welch's Strawberry Peach. Individual packets. They're fun. They're fruity. They're easy to make. All you have to do is take your old Powerade bottle, you know, Powerade by the Coca-Cola company, and all you have to do is take this little packet and you pour it in here, right? And then you go over to your tap water, right? This is how you save money. Over the course of the year, you could save yourself maybe about $40 or $50 in drinks, maybe 60. That's $60 you would otherwise not have in your pocket, but you do have it now because you're following my instructions, right? In fact, just go ahead and do it. Why should you lug all those juices back home when you can carry this light little thing home, right? Okay, trash in the trash can. That's where it goes. Down to 167.5 pounds at 6'1". Do you think I'm too skinny? Tell me. You guys tell me if you think I'm too skinny. Come on. Tell me I can use a Cheerio as a hula hoop. Why don't you tell me that? Yes, so tall. 8:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Out, 30 miles outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. I hear something going on in the other room. I don't know what it is. My name is Randall. Welcome in to @Hollywoodland21. That's my handle, @Hollywoodland21. It's free to subscribe. I have a goal. Let's get me up to 10,000 subscribers by September the 1st, 2026. I know we can do it as a team. Now, got hot water here. Woo, that is hot. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to whip it out. Another tea bag. I wonder if my sister or my brother's watching this, or my mother. We're going to make some tea, hot tea. I sure going to drink a lot of liquids. This chick on another platform was making me laugh today. What's her name? Well, she changes her channel name. Sometimes it's Diet Pepsi, but her name is Human Scab. You should check out Human Scab on TikTok during the day. She's just go to her channel. You'll thank me in the morning. It's fucking awesome. She's actually very smart, actually. You want to see an artist? Somebody that does mask craft. If you know what mask craft is, mannequin making and mask craft, and talks about subject matter that's of a spiritual matter, and also is a good painter. She's a really good painter too, and she's a lot of fun. Her name is Tongue Bitten. That's her channel name. Tongue Bit, 2 words, Tongue Bitten. Check her channel out on TikTok. You'll thank me in the morning. And over into YouTube, we have a couple channels. McHenry Cruiser. McHenry Cruiser. He has a jawline chiseled by Zeus himself, he claims. He's been on YouTube for a while. You can check him out. Also, DJ Darren on YouTube. And one more on TikTok. Is it on TikTok? @Katie Roby. @Katie Roby. You check out her channel. She's been on. She was on YouTube for a long time. She's on TikTok for a long time, and she is a seasoned professional at live streaming. And she is a blast. @Katie Roby on TikTok, and see if she's bouncing around there on YouTube too. I want to find out what the YouTube channel is. Okay, @Boris Mikulski. So you have 2.1K subscribers. How long did it take you to get that subscription level? And what can we do to get you to 10K by September 1st? To get me to 10K by September 1st, you can tell every single person that you run into about @Hollywoodland21 on YouTube and how much fun it is to come here and hang out with us. go ahead and give them directions, give them directives to subscribe. It'll change their life. We're going to get, when we start getting like 5,000, 6,000 subscribers, it's going to get, this chat's going to be flying. Sometimes my chat does fly much faster than this. It flies like, I've had like 200, 300 people in here before chatting. It took me, now you got to realize that I live stream at Hollywoodland22. That's me, Randall. I live stream Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever. It's an average of 1 hour and a half. I'm going a little bit longer here. I usually only stream for about an hour and a half. And I've been doing this on a regular basis, Thursday through Sunday, really putting some work into it. I mean, I think by December I had a channel. I had to beg for like 50 subscribers. But I went from about 50 to 75 subscribers in December to, well, let's say about somewhere around about April. I really started April, May, June, July. That's about 4 months. About 4 months of me consistently here Thursday through Sunday for 1.5 hours a day. That's only 6 hours a week. I got to 2.1K. And I've talked to people that have channels that I've been watching for quite a long time that said that is a fast clip. I don't have the time to, I do other things. I'm busy making bread. I can't do this like all day long. I mean, I got to sleep. I got other endeavors. I don't want to get into what I do. It's legal. Don't worry about it. That I keep private. But that's pretty good. I mean, there's people that can't even get 1,000. They can't get 1.1. They just never budge. They never get anywhere after that. I believe that this channel is going to have over 100,000 subscribers at some point. I think it may happen within a year. It might happen within 9 months, but this channel is going to grow exponentially is what's going to happen. And I might bounce around on TikTok somewhat with maybe in a few months, maybe not right now, but I'm in the middle of doing a lot of things. I'm just building a subscriber base at Hollywoodland21. I want to get this up to 5,000 as fast as possible. 10,000 subscribers by September 1st. That is it's possible. I don't know if it's probable. It may be probable, but it is definitely possible. And if you could tell everybody on all social media platforms that you know, and also people at a bus stop, at a train stop, in the lunchroom, when you take your smoke break, if you smoke or anything like that, tell them about at Hollywoodland21 and how much of a really good time they're going to have on this channel. We talk about staying sober one day at a time. We talk about Jesus Christ being my personal savior, and I'd like to. We talk about fixing the United States of America, and I mean just politically, I mean just culturally, getting this country repaired again, and bouncing ideas off of each other on how the general population can do that, because it doesn't look like our legislators are always doing their job. Some of them might end up in jail, actually. Let's see how much I have here. 39% cool. I want to make sure. We also talk about anything else. We talk about, you can talk about sexuality. You can talk about politics. You can talk about Iran, even though I don't like to talk about Iran very much. You could talk about men's issues, women's issues, men and women that are mostly millennials and younger than millennials. I guess they call them Generation Z, having a very difficult time getting to know each other and getting married and procreating. That is an issue because in the United States right now, you can talk about whether or not what you want to do about the undocumented 33 million to 44 million undocumented people living in our country. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to make them citizens? Are we going to deport them all? What are we going to do? We could talk about all this stuff. You could talk about how we're going to get the food prices down. We're going to talk about your ideas on what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. We can talk about if your mind has never changed about Donald Trump, your president right now, or if your mind has changed about him. You could talk about my hair, whether or not my hair needs to be cut, or whether or not you care about whether or not my hair can be cut. We can talk about you could talk about my teeth that need to be fixed right here. See that? I got to get implants there. I'm going to take care of that soon. I might wait till I get to Missouri. We could talk about how I'm going to be relocating very soon to Kansas City, Missouri. It's about money. You tell two friends and they'll do two friends and so on and so on, just like multi-level marketing, right? I really need your help. I need all of my viewers right now to subscribe, if you have not, to @Hollywoodland21 and tell a friend and another friend and another friend. Tell like 2 friends a day. It's amazing. We can get this channel really, really, really big. No, sometimes I imagine I could do it either way. I could do this full time, and I don't think I'm going to stop making bread the way I make bread. But I'm just saying that I don't know if I would ever say, for example, when this channel gets to be very large, okay, and it will. Is this what I want to do? Or do I want to go in another direction? Do I want to do a podcast? Do I want to go back to something else? What do I do? When this channel gets to be like 80,000 people or more, maybe 100,000 people or 200,000, who knows? Perhaps 1 million, perhaps more. Perhaps one day I'll have more subscribers to my channel than Mr. Beast does. Or that dude that does his makeup, what's his name? You never know. That's the one thing you never know. You never really know, do you? You never know if you're watching a channel right now that's going to be the biggest channel that YouTube's ever had. Ever. Since they started this when did they start this? Back in 2009? You have no idea. Maybe one day and another 3 years from now, you're going to say, wow, I remember that guy. I remember that guy when he said his channel is going to be the biggest channel on all YouTube one day. And I'm probably going to remember you too. Remember, I'm not making any money right now. I haven't monetized this channel. I might end up on another channel. I hope that YouTube likes me. We'll see. It's really their platform. They can do whatever they want with me, right? You never know. Their competitors like TikTok or Twitch or Kick might end up being the more in vogue than YouTube. I actually, we'll see. We'll see what happens to YouTube. I believe YouTube's going to be around for a while. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to get a couple 100,000 people on my channel? You think so? I know I will. Ruby at Ruby for Justice. I'm your newest subscriber. Thank you at Ruby for Justice. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. I hope you're having a good time. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can ask me questions. You can ask me where I'm from. I never said I'm going to give you all the answers. I'm never going to tell you how old I am. But you can ask me any question. Go ahead, shoot. Or you can tell me where you're from. I'm from Philadelphia. I don't live there anymore. I lived in Los Angeles for 29 years. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina area now, and I'm about to move to Kansas City, Missouri. Where's everybody from? You think I'm 52 years old? Do you really? That's interesting. Flint, Michigan. Did they get the water situation fixed there? No, I'm not 25. Yes, I have a child. I have one child, and he has grown in paying taxes. It's a male. You're in Dallas, Texas? I've been in Dallas, Texas. I've been at that nightclub called the Warehouse they used to have. Remember that one downtown? Independence, Kentucky. Oh, they have an Independence in Kentucky, too. Just like in Independence, Missouri. Thank you. At 86GT11 said, you're a good-looking man. Thank you very much for the compliment. It makes me feel fuzzy inside. Not by a long shot. Ontario, Canada. Sweet Home, Alabama. I know they got a donut down there called Krispy Kreme. It's pretty good. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know where Pittsburgh is. People were very friendly and gave me directions when I was in downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They told me exactly when I was downtown walking around. People are really friendly in Pittsburgh, actually. I've been to Aliquippa, Beaver Falls. I've been to, where else have I been? I've been to Moon Township. I've been to your airport with your little walk, that little electric walking thing you have there. I've been through there. Washington State. I used to live in Washington State. I lived outside of Seattle over the floating bridge, and guess where? That's right off of Northeast 8th Street in Bellevue, Washington. Bellevue. Long Islander here. I've been through there. I remember going around the Belt Parkway and stuff. All the way around. I came from New Jersey over the various Staten Islands, all that. Go over the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, got on the Belt Parkway, went all the way around. We're going all the way out there towards Jones Beach, and you had to go. And I remember back in those days, you had those restaurants they used to have. You got department stores that are in the New York, the tri-state area, it's called, that they don't have anywhere else. They're just like local chain department stores there. They got a place called Ames there. They got a place called Chi-Chi's Mexican Restaurant there. I remember that place. They had, man, I'm old enough to remember when they had a department store called Pomeroy's. Do you remember that? And Bamberger's. Do you remember all those places? I lived in Lubbock, Texas as a child from the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade. I lived in Lubbock in the South Panhandle. I have a lot of family in Texas, mostly around San Antonio, Austin area. Because my family goes way back in Texas. My dad's family, they go way back in Texas to like the 1840s or something. Like before they were in the. I have a ancestral uncle. His name is James Mitchison. You'll see his name engraved on the side of the inside the Alamo. And he was the guy who took care of the horses in the Battle of the Alamo. Yeah, he didn't make it. Yeah, but yeah, my family goes back that far in Texas. How I ended up growing up in Philadelphia and southern New Jersey is beyond me. Center City's cool. Oh, yeah, it is. I've been there as a child at Jersey Park. I remember that. You're in Peterborough? Oh, you live in Washington? Yeah, I liked Bellevue. People were very nice in Bellevue, Washington, and Seattle too. I know where Bellingham, Washington is. That's a really nice city. That's a beautiful place. Bellingham, Mount Vernon, Marysville, Mount Vernon, Burlington, Cedro-Woolley, and Bellingham, and Whidbey Island, and all that stuff is a place. And going up into Canada and checking out Victoria Gardens and all that stuff, that whole area of Washington State is the northwestern part of Washington State there. Is really beautiful. They got tulips all over the place. You know I've been there. There's tulip farms all over the place near there. England, Cedarville, California. We call it the California Epic. Where is Cedarville? Is that near Susanville? Like, where is that? Or is that over there near Clear Lake? Or Cedarville. Where have I heard that? Because I lived in LA for a long time. Oh my God. Again, you said that. See, I go all the way over there. It's not open. You guys are just plain silly, aren't you? Oh, you lived in West Seattle as a child? I've been to West Seattle. I spent a lot of time in Seattle. I worked in Seattle. And I lived in Bellevue. I like Texas too. I think it's a good state to live in. I lived there as a child out in West Texas in the Panhandle. We rode dirt bikes all the time when we were kids. Washington, North Carolina. I did not know there was a Washington, North Carolina. I have to look that up. Your mother was from Texas. My grandmother and grandfather were from Texas. No, it's not. I checked it. Lubbock, good house horses. London, UK. That's a place I have not been, but I would like to go. I need to shout beep at him. That's a, I just got rid of him actually. Tulips are so pretty. Yes, they are. There's tulip farms like all around like Mount Vernon, Washington State, and the western part of Washington State, and Burlington, and Cedro-Woolley, and I think maybe close up to Bellingham, there might be tulip farms up there too. 2 hours from Susanville is about 2 hours south. Oh, okay, that's where Cedarville is. Okay. People keep saying I look like Kurt Russell all the time. Wichita Falls. I don't know where Wichita Falls is. It has about 100,000 people in it. It's about the same size as San Angelo. I would consider Wichita Falls. That's getting into West Texas. It's northern Texas. It's close to Oklahoma. It's very much like Lubbock and San Angelo and Amarillo. It's very similar. It's drier out there. They have these trees that look like bushes out near Wichita Falls. They're called mesquite trees. Mesquite bushes. But they're actually trees. They're technically trees. They have thorns on them and stuff. That's where you get mesquite wood that they make mesquite wood barbecue from. You're flying to San Diego, and the last time I've flown was 18, and you're 62 now? Really? So it's been a while, huh? I remember the first time I flew when I was 7 years old with my father. He was going on a business trip somewhere in Houston. He was flying from Philadelphia down to Houston, and he took me on a ride with my younger brother after. And we had a babysitter watch us in the hotel and everything, and then afterwards, he drove us all through Texas, and I got to meet relatives. These people aren't with us anymore, but I got to meet my great grandfather, who was in a nursing home at the time in Austin, and I got to meet my other relatives in Dallas and Carrollton, and some people in Kerrville, Texas. My uncle there, and then I flew up to Colorado to meet my father's college roommate and his son, and I remember that. And then I remember flying back to Philadelphia after that. I'll never forget that. I went down. He took me down to the beach in Galveston, so I've been down there. I've been out to Texas to family reunions and stuff a lot. It's kind of odd how I lived. My parents broke up when I lived in Philadelphia, and then my mother went out to Lubbock. But I didn't meet my relatives. Well, my dad's side of the family was there, but I was there for like 4 years or so. And then I went back to live with my father when I was 15 years old in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, if you know where Cherry Hill, New Jersey is. I don't know if anyone knows where Cherry Hill, New Jersey is. It used to be a fairly well-known suburb. Yeah, I've been down to San Diego. Lived in LA. I've been down to San Diego a bunch of times. I used to go I used to go to Tijuana. I'm well traveled. I used to go down to Tijuana, but you know what? After 2006, we stopped going down to Tijuana because everything changed in 2006. It started getting really bad down there. Oh, Roy, sowing seed 7. Your son is working oil fields in Midland, Texas. Yeah, there are a lot of oil fields there. Midland and down in Odessa and all the way and north of there, also near Big Spring, and also going west towards the New Mexico border, near Hobbs, New Mexico, and stuff like that. I don't know if you know that. That whole area has oil fields in it all over the place. They even have oil fields out near Clovis, Portales, New Mexico. And I think La Mesa. La Mesa is a little town just north of Big Spring. Yeah, I spent a lot of time out there because I lived in Lubbock. So, you know, I had a stepdad there out in West Texas and stuff, and he used to take us down into Midland and Odessa. So I know the area. I know Midland's actually got a little bit of money, and Odessa's kind of a rough town. It's a very, yeah, and also, the danger involved. There's a lot dangerous south. There are so many workers leaving drinking. The thing is that's dangerous about West Texas, which means Amarillo, Lubbock, Midland, Big Spring, Midland, and Odessa, and over into eastern New Mexico, and all of New Mexico has a drunk driving problem. But West Texas and New Mexico and Oklahoma have a lot of problems with people that drink and drive. I don't know why. I don't know what's up. I hope they can get a handle on that. It's a really good idea to have a truck out there and use a seatbelt at all times and not drink and drive. No, I never went and saw that. I thought that would be gross. They do have those. Yeah, this hair is going to get cut. Definitely going to get cut soon. Well, let's see. It is Sunday, 2/14. We can look at some pictures. I'll show you some pictures. I guess that's me when I was a little kid. My mother. There's our Christmas tree. That's a long time ago. That's my father as a young man. My mother, that beehive hairdo. Check that out. That's me, little dude. And there, see all these pictures. That's my mother. That's my grandmother. I look more like her. My grandmother was very instrumental in helping raise me with my mother. So she was a big influence on my life too. And my father was a big influence when I was, especially, well, before I was 10 years old, and then from 15 to 19 years old, he was a big influence on me. Yeah, I miss my grandmother a lot. How do you like my floor? Like it? It's fun, isn't it? Guess who's back? I'm back. Well, you know what? It's been fun. It's been real, but it's time for me to go. What's your secret on keeping a good head of hair like yours? I only wash it once every 3 days. I washed it not too long ago. It's a little too dark. We're going to lighten it up a little bit. You flew a Thomas Robinson 3704. I flew a 182 Cessna, but not solo. The pilot don't like the nosedive. I did. Laugh out loud. I bet he didn't. That's interesting. Well, I want to let everybody know that I appreciate you coming on to watch my little show here. This is at Hollywoodland22. This is for entertainment purposes only, although I do give advice sometimes. I have a lot to learn. Thank you at Dakula1 for moderating my channel and keeping my chat flowing. I do appreciate that. At Hollywoodland21, tell all your friends on all social media platforms and in real life too, digital and analog. I'm a certain kind of personality on here. I'm just like, I let my hair down here. You know what I mean? I really do. In my professional life, it's different. It's different when I'm not on here. I'm still kind of a talker and stuff. I mean, I'm manic depressive, you know. I can be kind of sensitive. Depends on who it is. But just remember that people will sometimes fail you or disappoint you, but Jesus Christ will never fail you. Seek Jesus. I did, and he saved my life. He gave me a second chance of living. If there seems to be an undercurrent of a little bit of stress or a little bit of depression or something, that sometimes, you know, I come on here, I don't let you guys see all the time. A little bit of, I get a little bit like this. I get anxiety ridden sometimes, and I feel a little bit depressed sometimes. I have my own set of issues and stuff like that. I don't talk about everything here, you know. I just want you guys to have a really good time. I really do. I want you to have fun when you're here and talk about what's important to you. I would like to hear more about what's important to you than about myself. I'm getting to a stage in my life where when I'm over here, I am going to run my mouth on this channel, right? But when I watch other people's channels, the channels that I do like, there's channels that I really like to watch on either this platform or another platform, either here, TikTok or Kick, where it's time for me to do a lot of listening. The one thing I do know is that I don't know everything. I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything, and I'm very teachable. And there's a lot of things I need to learn. A lot of things I need to learn that are more important than any of the things that you've heard on my channel. There's a lot of things I need to learn. There are some very, very gifted people in the world. And I know it. Love you guys. Thanks for coming in. I'll be here Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, if you see me pop back on later on tonight, it's because I just felt like it. Or if you see me start to stream all weekend, it's possible. But I got a lot of preparation to do because I am relocating. It's a lot of preparation, and it can be tough. Moving can be tough, you know what I mean? But it has to be done. Lisa Kerr. What did Lisa Kerr say? What's Lisa Kerr saying? What's this about depression and bipolar? Thank you, Sowing Seed 7. Thank you for praying with me, praying for me. I appreciate they talk about the subject matter they talk to is of a spiritual nature. And these are people that think outside of the box, and these are people that are very gifted. They're people that I'm listening to very, very carefully now. Very carefully. Medication for the bipolar. Lisa Kerr says a female. That's correct, Sowing Seed 7. Me too. John 3:14. John 3:16. I don't know. It's going to be soon. I'm not going to tell anybody exactly how I'm going to get there or when I'm leaving and stuff. This is YouTube. I gotta stay safe. Bite me, I will bite back. Laugh out loud. Good night, Randall. Looks like a time travel from a royal family mansion. Do I look like royalty? That's interesting that you said that. I am Methodist. I'm a Methodist Christian, but I'm learning more about spirituality, about Christianity. I'm just starting to learn how to communicate without having to say anything. Well, we can all communicate without saying things, gestures and things like that. I'm starting to think that I have some ability. I have an ability to communicate with people from long distances. That's a subject I haven't talked about yet on this show, but it's similar to telepathy. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now, I'm gonna go relax. And get ready to go to sleep. Maybe watch a few channels. And I want you guys to have a wonderful week. I will see everybody Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Hollywoodland21. Please subscribe. Bye for now.